We are right here at Nairobi Aviation College Chapel, and I can see here that there are very many students and they are really expecting a lot. Just to hear some few words from them, and some of them will be telling me what are the expectations for today. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
What's your name?
My name is Pauline Mukoro.
And you here in the chapel today. What are you expecting to gain, or what have you come here to do?
I've come here to have a talk about how the media works and how people do things in there, and how I will gain from what we shall be talking about.
Thank you very much, Pauline. To my next friend here, tell me what are your expectations for today?
Okay, my name is Pauline. I'm here because we have a career talk, and I expect a lot since I'm a mass communication and journalism student, so I expect to gain something.
You expect to gain a lot?
Yeah,
today.
Exactly.
What is your expected guest, or what are you expecting from today's talk? Other than knowing about mass communication, what do you know? What is the theme for today?
Okay, being a trainee in a journalism class, I expect to know some of the challenges that the media faces and then how they overcome them. Yeah.
Kindly tell me your name and what course you're taking, and your expectations for today's talk.
Okay, my name is Judy Charles. I'm Judy Charles. Okay, I'm expecting to get something that's going to help me and it's going to add value in my life, or what I didn't know or what I knew. It's good, all the same. Yeah.
What course do you take?
I take community development. Yeah.
And what's the theme for today? Or what have you come to do here? Or what have you come to gain?
Okay, we have been told we have a career talk, so that's what we have come, and we have been told we are come to be open. Then they'll open for us the way.
Thank you.
I'm Zara Mohammed. I'm also expecting motivation.
That is a good one.
I'm Eunice Munyiri, and I expect to have a new dimension as I leave this place today.
Thank you very much. Just pass it to her.
My name's Malit Grace. I'm expecting to hear from you good direction.
Is there anything you know about digital migration?
Yeah, I know anything about digital, because digital, as you can see, you have been in analog. Now this conventional TV, digital is all about internet. We have seen TV with internet, TV which can access other networks without any even applying dish. So I think the movement of internet the movement of the movement of digital migration, it will be possible because many Kenyans believe that it is expensive.
Digital migration.
Okay, according to me on digital migration, I will talk on concerning digital migration on TV. It's where we move from a stage where we were broadcasting, the message were being conveyed from analog now to digital. So in digital migration, we expect that there will be a the quantity and the content of the transmission and the message will be of high quality compared to when it was in analog. Yeah.
So what are your expectations for today about the TVs will no longer be analog, will be dealing with digital? What are you? How do you take that?
I think it is very good, or something that it is more accessible than the old one, so it is more advantage than the analog one. So I would love, it is very nice, and it is good by the.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Is there anything that you've equipped your students with about digital migration?
We are in the process of ensuring that we get the up-to-date equipment, and in fact by January all the equipment will be there for our students to ensure that they are up-to-date with digital equipment, they know how to use them. But I don't think there is much difference in using a normal camera with the other one.
With me here is some guests who are here, and they will be talking to our students. Just to start by introduction, Madam.
Okay, my name is Adisola Bulero from JVC Professional in the UK, and I'm the Area Sales Manager for Africa.
Thank you very much. And our gentleman.
And I'm Peter Fairhurst, and my company is called Visual Engineering, and we represent JVC in the region amongst other companies. We build radio and TV stations.
Thank you very much. First of all, we appreciate you so much for coming here, and just to let us know more about digital migration. Our students here, they've only heard about digital migration, but they don't exactly know what it entails. I don't know what you'll be telling them about digital migration.
Okay, well, I mean, it's just exactly what the word says, digital migration. It's moving from the conventional analog systems, which we're very used to something more digital, which is fast-paced workflow, which is very key and important, especially with the way technology has changed over the years. So this is basically just what we're trying to pass on today, how to move over, conveniently move over, cost-effectively as well, from analog to digital.
Thank you very much. And do you have anything more to add about, rather than what she has said, do you have anything more to add on to that?
Only that digital migration is fantastic for the East African region because in general digital equipment is more efficient and cheaper and more cost effective for East Africa than analog equipment, which leaves many more opportunities.
And so we basically I'm so happy because we understand that the equipment you're using they're from your company, and they're so nice equipment. I don't know whether you'll be telling our students about the equipment because they are so easy to handle, like they are portable. You don't need to carry a lot of to use a lot of things to carry them. We appreciate. I don't know whether you'll be telling them much more about your equipment.
Yes, of course. I'll be talking today about the equipment that we have, the ones you have already, the ones with a lot more features, a lot more specification, more features to meet the current demand in the market today, technology-wise. So I'm going to be sharing a lot more about these products and then the products for the future as well, because again, technology never stops. It just keeps improving and improving. So there's a lot more which far and beyond what you have at the moment, which I'm going to talk about today.
And apart from talking to us about digital migration, what else are you expecting from our students, or what else are you expecting to give them?
Well, we have a lot of experience within the region of East Africa as to what all the broadcasters are doing and where they're going. So what we're really going to try to get across is where the future of both print, radio and television journalism and production is going, so that when students come out of their courses they are fully prepared and know what to expect of their employers.
Thank you very much, our guests. We are ready and we are so eager waiting to hear from you, and I'll just stop there and we're waiting for more from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Allow me, with due respect, to welcome Mr. Joel Karanja, the head of operation Revival TV. Joel, karibu, brother. Say hi to the students and our visitors.
How are you? Good morning. Together with me in the house, I have Eva Karanja. She can stand. She's our head of logistics and public relations. We have Barry Nikos, who is in charge of programming. And how are you all? I'm glad to join you today. I'm told that most of you are doing mass media, and I'll start by telling you that you have a great future ahead of you. thanks to the digital migration, because it has opened a new world where before we had just a few channels, but now, for you who are not aware, we have over 20 channels that you have not seen before. And before even I came here, we were processing documents for another channel that is just about to come on air. So you have a bright future ahead of you. All you need is to acquaint yourself with the digital world. Are you getting me? I remember the years I was seated like you, and all I had is information, the only which I didn't know how to apply. But with the world that has opened up, there are so many channels which have come up and which are in need of you. On that 13th, as I came in, I heard someone saying, on that 13th, Nairobi, we are migrating to digital, and the analog signal will be off air. And with that, all of us will be competing. But the challenge is one, and I want to give you this challenge. The world is open for the best. Thank you a lot.
Thank you very much indeed. Members, allow me to welcome Mr. Peter to say something, to say aye, before I welcome the guest of the day. Welcome, Mr. Peter. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Some of you have seen me before, some haven't. What we do, I have a company called Visual Engineering Services, and we build radio and TV stations in East Africa. So I've been around for a while. My skin is white, but underneath I'm an African. And I've had experience in the region for the last 20 years. So I've seen the advent of TV. I remember when KTN first came up and was entirely analog, right through to now. So we get to see what all these TV stations are doing. We also get to see what the radio stations are doing. And over the last few years, we've been watching that, and we've been part of the transition from analog to digital. Okay, I like very much what the last speaker said. I haven't had to answer a question in my kids' homework for the last 3 years, 4 years. Why? Why would I need to with Google? I don't have to. Information is there. Wherever we need it, we can find information. Now, okay, let's just have a look at what's happening and what our experience of the region is over the last few years. What does this transition from analog to digital mean? It means that everything goes into digits, into zeros and ones. It means that equipment becomes cheaper. It means equipment becomes more efficient. It means you can do more with it. It means in terms of transmission that you can have 10 channels for every frequency, whereas you could only have one. So 10 times the number of channels. And again, as the previous speaker said, we've got 20-odd digital channels right now, and in a couple of years' time, it's going to be 200 channels. And all of those need to be equipped. I remember talking to one of the classes afterwards here before, and at the end saying, are there any questions? And there was quite a lot of silence. I mean, but yet everybody's doing a journalist course. There should not be a shy journalist. So if anybody does want to ask questions afterwards, ask it. Because if you don't ask, you don't get. Now, what does it mean? The broadcasters are all trying to fight for revenue. They're all trying to fight for ads. And they are trying to figure out how to generate revenue in different ways. When I remember the days of just KBC, when there was just one station transmitting on analog, and there was traditional TV advertising. So now everybody's got to look for different ways to generate revenue. How do you generate the revenue? Social media, Facebook, Twitter, SMS, many different ways. That's what broadcasters are trying to figure out, is how do they make money from their stations. Now, again, previous gentleman was completely and utterly right. There's going to be a huge requirement for people. And as a result, if you've got 200 digital stations, it's going to be a big fight to succeed, and only those who excel are going to win. And so it's an incredibly exciting time that we have around us. I mean, it has to be said that when there was one station in this country and you would sit down on primetime television and listen to a documentary on how the army ant destructed your crops at 8 o'clock in the evening, it was immensely boring. It was really, really boring. It may have been educational, but not a primetime television at 8 o'clock in the evening after a hard day's work. Now you have a choice, and you have a choice of all these stations and all this information. Now, what have you got to do? What it means is that you guys are doing courses in journalism. We've got print, radio, TV as the three main categories. Now, in the past, you either became a print journalist or a TV journalist or a radio journalist. That is all changing. There's nothing to stop a print journalist going out with a camera and writing his story, bringing back the material, bringing it back to a central server in the TV station, writing his story for print, but there's nothing to stop the radio station picking up the story and creating their own news story. There's nothing to stop the TV picking up the material. So this information, this material is going to be available to everybody, and that's where the media groups are going to be headed. The big groups in town, like Nation and Standard, and with K24's group, MediaMax, also coming up, those groups are going to be looking for their journalists to provide the material to be able to create all the stories for all their different, and the fourth one, most importantly, web streaming as well. So don't please think of yourselves as just a journalist for print or just for radio or just for TV. That's the way that it is going, that everything has to be available to every other department. And that also leads me on to IT. What is a TV station these days? These days a TV station is really, in terms of the technology, is nothing more than an IT network. Everything is connected to everything else. We can put tapes in a coffin and bury them. The analog days of tapes, where you had to wait 1 hour to download 1 hour of material, are gone. There's still a lot of tape cameras around. And of course, nobody's just going to chuck them out. But there is no manufacturer, as you'll hear from Adesola of JVC. JVC don't make any tape cameras anymore. Panasonic don't make any tape cameras anymore. It's a dead medium. And as far as Sony is concerned, there's only 3 models left, and they're being phased out in the next few months. So by digital media, it allows you to move information quickly, efficiently around the station to wherever you need it. You bring it in, you edit it, you create your story, whether it be a program or a news program. It goes to playout and is played out digitally from the playout server. So TV stations are becoming one giant network. Anyone who doesn't know about IT is going to fail. The use of IT in TV and in journalism in general is a given. It's like learning how to type. It shouldn't be something which is maybe only some people learn or whatever. Everybody needs to learn it because that's the way it's going. So that will, I'm mindful of the fact that I shouldn't go on too long, but digital migration is going to allow more stations to provide more, which are going to require more programming on a 24/7 basis. And anyone who is involved in that is going to, there'll be a lot of pressure when you guys get jobs, there'll be a lot of pressure to produce the material because that's what the stations need. So the opportunities are there, and that's really the basis of digital migration. Is it allows more stations, more programming, and it provides the audience with a greater choice. So what you guys learn here will be very well received by all of these people, because I talk to all the stations, and they all have a great need for people trained in this field. There is no question that this is one of the fastest growing areas within the country. So that is what really what I have to say. Now I'm going to ask the question, has anybody got any questions? And if I hear complete silence, I won't consider anybody to be a good journalist. No? Maybe we give you another few minutes while the next speaker speaks to think up a few questions. But journalists shouldn't be shy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. Kindly allow us to welcome our main speaker. She is going to share across, because we have different students. She is an expertise in this area, and none other but Madam. Welcome, Madam. Karibu.
10 minutes?
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adesola from JVC Professional in London. Okay, so many people here today. First of all, I'd want to say moving from analog to digital is very interesting, I must say. You know, but you won't really understand this if you don't even understand what analog is in the first place. I know lots of you are very young students here, so you probably don't have experience with the analog equipment, okay? So analog, in very layman's terms, I'll give you a very simple example. It's like when you have, I don't know how many of you remember the analog TVs we used to have back in the days. When you want to get a channel, you have to tune very hard to get a channel. Then when you get that signal, then you have to fine tune again. There's another button for fine tune. You fine tune again, you get a channel. Are we together? Okay. That's coming from the old way back analog era up until what you're aware of now, which are the TVs you've got at homes now. But digital is a whole complete different world entirely. And with digital, like one of the speakers was saying, it's like besides you having the equipment, it's having the knowledge as well of the IT era, because that's where we're moving to. Everything is getting IT now. So digital is more, digital is equipping yourself now to get into this new era we're talking about, okay? In terms of the equipment for digital, I'm going to focus more on the equipments today. Now, for the equipments for the digital as well, we're talking about some of these cameras you see here that will record on a separate media different from the analog era, which would be the tapes that you're aware of, okay? These are like the old VHS tapes or the mini DV tapes in older cameras. Now, we're going digital and recording your footage in different, there's also different digital media as well. One of the media here, which is the cheapest, I would say, out of all the medias, would be the SD card, which some of you are familiar with. This small card you have in some of your digital cameras, okay? Now, this is easily available everywhere. And that's one exceptional thing about the digital era. With digital, it comes equipment, digital brings equipment that are cheaper, like you have your digital phones as well. Remember when we used to have the analog phones? I remember my dad used to have this phone. Every time he'll come back home, we used to run to the car and carry, it was like in a box. would carry the phone in a box as well. So, you know, you can imagine that era now to the smartphones that you have, which is a phone. From that phone, you can go on the internet, you can make calls, you can do video calls. This is exactly what we're saying. With this one card, you can have hours of recording, depending on the size of the card. Anyway, going on to the camera, which is the capture side of the equipment. I'll just go briefly on the cameras. Now, like I said, we're recording digital in a digital media. We've got different cameras that would do this, like from the handheld small camera you've got over there, up onto this is also a handheld camera, up onto shoulder mount cameras, which some of you are aware of, or the studio cameras as well. Okay. For JVC, we have one brilliant product that I'll just talk about briefly, which as you go on with your course in the institution, you'll get to learn about these sort of technologies as well. Digital era brings about more features, more advanced technology, things that you couldn't do with the analog system. We're doing them now with the digital. One of those exceptional things is what this camera brings, which is transferring of files, the digital files you're recording from this camera to a remote site without even connecting to an additional equipment. Okay? These are things that you couldn't do in the analog world. So what I'm saying to you is from this camera, you can record your files, and with the wireless connectivity in the camera, you can transfer that file straight from the camera to the server, which is in a remote location. Again, we're talking digital, so we're not storing all our media and recordings on tapes and heaping them up in piles in a particular room, which is called the library. Now we're having servers. All the files are saved, digital files are saved on servers. Are we together so far? Okay. So you're transferring the files from here straight to that server. So again, digital world brings about more flexibility. It brings about a workflow that requires less people. Like one of the other speakers said, it's very important that now that you're in this institution, you make yourself exceptionally good. Because back in the days, when a recording is done on the tape, you have to give it to one person that will take a matutu, a bike, like we call it, matatu, sorry. Will take a matatu and go all the way to the station to give that tape to them in the station. And then they have to spend another hour to transfer that analog recording to digital before it is aired. Now that guy, that driver is no longer required. That's one job gone. Because all you're doing is transferring that file from here straight to the server in the studio. Do you understand? So that guy who had that exceptional skill in driving through traffic and going on there, that job is gone. Now we're talking about in the studio, the guy that has to sit down and transfer all that file to digital, his job is gone. So you have to make yourself exceptional so that when you are required, you can fit into the digital world. Because what 20 people used to do back in the days, 2 people can do it now. Are we together? Okay. So that's one exceptional thing about the camera, plus the fact that it's got so many other features like the lens, it's got the sensor, which works perfectly well in low light conditions. That's very good as well for certain shots that you do outdoors. I'm sure you probably do that in one of your courses as well. So what I'm saying invariably is, this is the future of digital broadcasting. Digital broadcasting has been going on for a while. You're just getting into it now. But this is a step ahead. This is where we are going to now, okay? So a station like BBC, for example, they purchased 500 pieces of this camera, mainly because of that feature that I mentioned to you right now, plus the fact that the camera can do live streaming as well. So I'm talking to you now, for example, we're recording with this camera. Someone in, I don't know, South Africa could be watching me right now as we speak, just by recording with live transmission all the way without any additional equipment as well. Don't forget, because when you're transmitting, transmission is a very, very, very expensive thing. I'm sure you'd know that. It's a very, very expensive thing. So when you have the opportunity to transmit without any additional equipment, Again, that's advancement in the digital world. Okay? So that's that. Very important, I said, BBC bought 500 pieces of this. This is where the future is going right now. Okay, and one important thing for you as students in the aviation colleges, I said, you have to, self-development, very important. You have to keep yourself up to speed with what is going on. You know, you were being asked a question, do you know, has anyone seen Revival TV? And there's no one here who put up their hands. You should know what is going on. You know, it's not all about Twitter and Facebook. If you come out of here, and you're asked a simple question, what do you do about lights, you know, what are soft lights, what are hard lights, and you don't know the answer, then there's a problem. Because, you know, these are potential questions you'll be asked for a job. And then initially there were 5 openings for the job, but there's only 1 person required now in the digital world. How are you going to get that job? Okay, so self-development is very important. You have to read, you have to study on your own, you have to be IT savvy as well. There's no job in the digital world now that doesn't require you being IT conscious, okay? The guy that does, from the cameraman that records, he needs to know, for example, like I said, how to transfer files on FTP. If he doesn't know anything about IT, how's he gonna do that? The guy that takes the recorded media and puts it in his NLE, non-linear editing software, and wants to do the editing, he has to know how to use the computer to a very good degree, right? So I understand there's so many students here, so you might not have the opportunity to have a one-on-one, one person to one computer and that one person to one camera, but you must take the time out. And there's one important thing that I used to do as well. Every time, now that you're in the media college, every time that you watch television, it should not be for entertainment only. For me, TV is not entertainment only. I'm not watching that English subtitled Brazilian soap just to enjoy, you know, the plot of the series. I'm also watching, okay, how's that shot? What's the angle? What's the headroom in the shot? Was it a full shot? Was it a you know, half shot? Okay, the news reader reading the news, what did she say? Did she smile? Did she do this? What's the lighting like? Oh, I can see the shadow behind. The lighting is not properly done. You know, these are the things you need to start looking at, so that when your lecturer teaches you in class as well, you're like, okay, yeah, I remember that. When he teaches you to take different types of shots, you need to watch it in the movie as well and understand how it's done. Self-development is very important, okay? You won't be taught every single thing from A to Z in the college. You have to learn things yourself as well, okay? Any questions so far? Yes.
My question goes to the JVC company. Yeah. You have said that this camera can access, you know, whatever you know, nowadays, they are shooting something and then they put that tape in a matatu, they take it to the station. Now this camera, you have said that it can sense wirelessly. It's like a Bluetooth. It can send if it receives the signal. Is JVC alone doing this, or to other the manufacturers of other cameras? Are they the only one? Is it the JVC which is doing this, or even Sony, Panasonic? Are they also doing the same?
Okay. Well, at the moment, JVC is the only one that has got this feature that is inbuilt in the camera. Okay. You can transfer your files anyway through other media as well. You can do it through satellite. You can do it through microwave. So you have to buy this additional equipment, which costs a fortune. Okay, and then you attach it onto your camcorder. But this particular camcorder has that feature inbuilt for no additional price. That's what I'm trying to say. So you're paying just that one price, and you're still getting that feature. Okay, so but at the moment, JVC is the only one that has got that exceptional feature.
Thank you very much. Remember that if you're any program you're taking, either you're taking engineering, you're taking mass comm, you're taking community health, you're taking, maybe you're a lecturer, you must migrate come what may. And you need to understand some of these concepts. By the way, by digital, it means that you can come up with your own program as scripts and forward it for hearing, which will make things move very fast and very easy. You can be able to market yourself. Is that okay? If you're doing engineering, let's say, for example, electrical engineering, we need a lot of, there is a lot of wiring and all that. Is that okay? Makofi to our visitor. Mighty Clans, Kaidilete Club well. We are very generous because we have hands. Wonderful, wonderful.